This is the story of a man who carried a name, a legacy, and the hopes of millions. A son of Kenya's struggle, a politician who spent decades in opposition, who was jailed, exiled, and twice at the center of national crisis. He was called Baba by supporters, Raila Amolo Odinga by the state, and to many, the embodiment of modern Kenya's democratic fight. Raila Amolo Odinga was born on the 7th of January 1945 in Maseno, near Kisumu, on the shores of Lake Victoria. He was the son of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, a towering figure in Kenyan politics, the country's first vice president, and later a leading opposition voice. Raila's childhood was shaped by politics from the start. Dinner table conversations about independence, ideology, and the cost of dissent. His father's activism meant the family moved in circles of both power and peril. Jaramogi's split with Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, and later opposition role cast a long shadow. For Raila, politics was not an abstract idea, it was the family business. In the 1960s, Raila was sent to East Germany to study engineering, a rare path for a Kenyan student at the time. He studied mechanical engineering in Magdeburg and earned a master's degree in 1970. Returning to Kenya, he taught mechanical engineering at the University of Nairobi and founded a manufacturing firm that produced LPG cylinders, evidence of a practical, technocratic side to a man better known for politics. Those years also exposed him to different worldviews, Western and Eastern blocs, ideas of state planning and citizen rights, shaping a worldview that combined technical competence with political purpose. Raila moved fully into politics in the 1980s and early 1990s, a dangerous time in Kenya. The single-party state under President Daniel Arap Moi cracked down on dissent. Raila's activism and perceived plotting with dissidents led to his longest interruption, detention without trial in 1982 after the failed coup against Moi. He spent years under intense state scrutiny, losing official posts and watching as the political system punished opposition. By the early 1990s, he became a central figure in the push for multi-party democracy, a movement that eventually forced constitutional change in Kenya. Through the 1990s, Raila consolidated his political appeal. He formed the National Development Party, NDP, and built a loyal following in Nyanza and urban slums like Kibera. Later, he merged forces within broader coalitions that eventually helped sweep KANU from power in 2002, an achievement often seen as the high point of Kenya's democratic reordering. But coalition politics magnified tensions, wrangling between leaders, ideological differences, and the messy reality of ethnic alliances made Raila both a unifier and a polarizing figure. He would later leverage this organized base in his consecutive presidential bids. Raila Odinga ran for president multiple times, 1997, 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022. Each campaign revealed the strengths and the fractures of Kenyan democracy. The 2007 election, however, changed everything. When the Electoral Commission declared incumbent Mwai Kibaki the winner, Raila's supporters alleged massive fraud. The announcement set off a wave of violence across Kenya that left more than 1,000 dead and hundreds of thousands displaced. Ethnic fault lines were exposed and, after international mediation, a power-sharing agreement was struck, creating the office of Prime Minister, and Raila became Kenya's Prime Minister in a coalition government from 2008 to 2013. As Prime Minister, Raila occupied a formal seat of power, but in a fragile coalition. He oversaw aspects of governance, participated in reforms, and became a symbol of both hope and compromise. Supporters praised his outreach to the marginalized, Critics argued the coalition diluted his reform agenda. Even during the coalition, long-standing issues, land, corruption, and ethnicity in politics, remained unresolved. For many, Raila's greatest challenge was balancing the expectations of a youthful, impatient base with the compromises demanded by coalition government. After serving as Prime Minister, Raila ran again in 2013 and 2017. The 2017 contest produced one of the most significant judicial interventions in African electoral history. Kenya's Supreme Court annulled the presidential election, the first such annulment on the continent, citing irregularities. The decision vindicated many of Raila's claims about flawed processes, even as a rerun followed, and he ultimately lost again. This phase cemented Raila's role as a leader who took fights into court and on the streets. It also changed Kenyan politics. Citizens saw that institutions could sometimes hold power to account, even as political anger and mistrust deepened. In the 2020s, Raila remained politically central, forming and dissolving alliances, guiding the Orange Democratic Movement, and leading broad coalitions like Azimio la Umoja. In 2022, he led another major coalition and again contended for the presidency. He continued to be a mobilizing force, particularly in Nyanza and urban slums, and a lightning rod for controversy. In the final years of his public life, he also shifted tactically, making moves that some saw as pragmatic and others as betrayals of an earlier oppositional purity. Supporters argued he prioritized stability and incremental gains. Critics said he had compromised too much. What will history remember? For millions, Raila Odinga was the persistent challenger, a voice for the dispossessed, a campaigner for reforms, and a master at mobilizing crowds. He inspired loyalty in strongholds and fierce loyalty in urban areas. To his critics, he was an emblem of patronage politics and repeated electoral defeats. Beyond politics, he was a family man, a technocrat trained in engineering, and, in the complex Kenyan way, both a unifier and a divider. He leaves behind institutions he helped shape, movements he inspired, and questions about the future of reform politics in Kenya. The story of Raila Amolo Odinga is not simply a biography of one man. It is the story of Kenya's long, messy, often hopeful struggle to be more democratic, to reconcile ethnicity with citizenship, power with accountability. Whether remembered as Baba or as a controversial politician, his imprint on Kenya's political life is undeniable. Raila died through cardiac arrest on the 15th of October, 2025, while receiving treatment in India. Rest in peace, Joey. Written and edited by Dennis Omarai. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing from you. Until next time, stay safe, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one.